Hello and welcome to the fifth episode of the V8s podcast, your premier source for motoring enthusiast news and information. On today's episode, Tesla is so successful they have to cut production of their most popular models in order to save money, while American automakers return to making cars people actually want. Except for Chevy, who apparently hate money. This and more on today's episode of the V8s podcast. But first, proposals to temporarily suspend the federal gas tax in order to alleviate fuel prices. So I have this article, it's local out of Massachusetts, but there's others in other regions. Apparently, the feds are looking at that 13-cent a gallon gas tax and thinking of suspending it, which is something that happened this time around, and not when gas prices were absurdly high back in like 21, 22. Go figure. I remember saying all the way back in like 21, 22, like, gas is super expensive, cost of living is going up, why don't we suspend gas taxes so we can lower the cost to get everything everywhere? And now they're doing it, or thinking of it.
This isn't trying to be a political podcast. I'd probably have something to say about that.
Probably.
I'm going to be honest with you.
So they're talking about how it's, I think, Massachusetts, 87 octane is 380 on average, which, I mean, I'm from Washington, I've seen worse, but yeah, it's pretty bad. I think up the road from me, it hit 395, and of course, premium's like $1 more than that, so...
91, the cheapest I can get it over here, has gone up another 20 cents.
It does seem to be peaking, though. I've noticed it's the slope's kind of flattening out, if you grab
I'm hoping we're at the top of the curve now.
Yeah, especially as more ships are going through the Strait of Hormuz and we're spinning up domestic production. I think we'll be fine in a couple months. It's just getting there. It's going to be hard, but... it's 18 cents, not 13 cents. So they did raise it at some point since the last time I checked, which was a while ago. It's the Gas Prices Relief Act going into the Senate. The suspension would remain in effect through the 1st of October. And you know things are going bad when the government lowers taxes, especially on anything to do with cars. I don't know that this is going to have too big of an effect. I mean, it'll do something, but it's 18 cents a gallon.
If they pull it off and then try to put it back on, even if the prices have got back down to their lows, not even historic lows, but just like the normal lows that we've been dealing with recently, and they put it back, I think people are going to riot then too. So... no matter what, they're fucking themselves here. It's either too expensive or it's too expensive. But if you take it away, people are not going to want you to put it back. And so federal taxes being repealed will be the greatest shit ever. Yeah. But the government's not going to want to do it.
Yeah. I mean, if they did, this would be kind of a neat way to get rid of the gas tax. I've mellowed on that in recent years. I actually don't necessarily know that's the best idea because money for roads got to come from somewhere. It's probably the best way to do a usage tax, which is the best way to do taxes for roads. But I'm kind of hoping, dropping the price of gas by 20 cents would be pretty nice. For me, that's an extra, not even $2.50 for my thirstier car. And for the 8.6, it's like $1.60. So
yeah, it wouldn't be much.
Yeah, it wouldn't be much, but it is something. Just kind of goes to show that, they're at least trying. I think the fact that the suspension is through the 1st of October is notable. Wonder what's important about that date. And I know
personally hate to live in Canada, though.
Well, I'd hate to live anywhere but the United States. I think it's
I would too, but here's the reason I say this. My buddy told me his gas prices up in Canada. He lives in Montreal. And so we did the math, and I had the realization because while I was up there trucking, they charge in liters.
Yes.
So it's per liter instead of per gallon. We did the math. They're paying $6.66 per gallon up there.
As of late March, for regular in Germany, it's $8 a gallon. I've heard numbers as high as 11 out of Europe. So yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere on Route 1 in California, because there were already gas prices there
hmm
when shit was low that were $10 a gallon because of how like out of the way it was. I can't imagine what they're paying up in those little towns up there.
Probably, it's probably not great.
It's probably
Um,
close to 20 if they're getting gas at all.
ooh, I wouldn't want to live there. But
No.
it just goes to show, like $5 a gallon for premium kind of sucks, but at least it's not 8. At least it's not 11. We're doing pretty okay so far. So I'm not too worried. And again, it's gonna come down a few months. People are freaking out, but come on. These things don't last forever. They don't last forever either because whatever caused the price to spike in the first place goes away, or because the extra profit the companies are making incentivizes them and gives them funds to expand production, which they're already doing. We'll be
Okay,
fine.
devil's advocate here though.
hmm
Those ships started moving 2 days after that war started. Like they turned off within 2 days they had started turning off their transponders and getting oil through that fucking strait.
Yeah.
So all that's happening right now, the reason the prices haven't already gone back down is because the oil companies realized that they could rake a profit for a couple weeks while this happened.
I I've seen a chart that I've got to dig up again, but it's there's surprisingly rational reasons why prices go up fast and drop slow, and part of that is that if you're a gas station, you're charging based on the cost of the next load of gas. um I mean, some of that is the profit incentive, yes, but I don't know, I don't worry too much over that. um I will say, to wrap this up, I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. I lost it, but I remember it started with, I know this isn't a political podcast, but, yes.
I love
I,
that statement.
I know this isn't a political podcast, but I'm glad that this time around we're lowering taxes and not selling off our strategic reserves. We can cut
Yeah.
that out if we have to. Moving on, because it's not too much to say on that, just that relief is coming. So Tesla's ending production of what this one guy says are 2 of the best vehicles of all time. What do you think are 2 of the best vehicles of all time, if you could name them off the top of your head?
If I could personally name them off the top of my head.
Yes.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I would actually have to think about it, but realistically, one is I'm very biased on this. I'm gonna go with the 86.
Mm-hmm.
My version of the 2015 particularly, and
Yeah.
then the other one is the other one in my driveway, which is the 2001 Honda Prelude. But again, I'm very biased, and I didn't like being put on the spot right there. So fuck you.
Fair enough. For me, if I had to give a snap answer, Nissan GTR, Toyota Supra. Just
The GTR is good, but they've just stopped that. They're actually, I think, replacing it with something soon. They've got some fucking concept
mhm.
car coming in. I forget the exact name of it. I was looking while I was looking for talking points for this podcast. I saw it, and then we already had probably more than we needed,
Yeah.
so I just dropped it.
Well, I mean, it does say of all time. Certainly, you wouldn't say the Model S and the Model X. I definitely wouldn't call them 2 of the best vehicles of all time. I might say they're 2 of the worst vehicles of all time because of what they've done to the car industry, i.e., turned it all into iPads on wheels. But it's a moot point, anyways, because Tesla's not making them anymore, which is what you do if you're a successful car company. You stop making your most popular models and shrink your line. Successful car company. Where's the Roadster? That's what I want to know. I heard something a couple weeks back about, oh, we got new news, the Roadster is coming, and then, like every other Roadster-related announcement, nothing burger.
They were more secretive about it than the SCC, but it ended up the same way. So the SSC Tuatara, they did a test run where it supposedly got the new highest land speed, and then the trailer flipped over in the canyons running through Wyoming. The trailer carrying it, for some reason, was loaded where the Tuatara was up top. I don't know if you heard about this. And then it was a contracted out. So the company had other cars for other places, and they had just dropped one off and didn't move the Tuatara to the place right under it where it should have been to keep the fucking center of gravity low. And they were going through a high wind area, and the trailer flipped over and destroyed the car. Putting a pin further in Tesla, by the way, you said The GTR is
Mm-hmm.
one of the best cars ever made. Which one? Because as far as I'm concerned, there's two possibilities for this. It's the GT2, or it's the GTR R32 and the R34. In my personal opinion, it's between those two, and it goes back and forth constantly with me.
That's fair. So this is from an email from an investor. So, reliable, but I have seen other sources on stuff similar to this. And we do know that Tesla's been cutting a lot of their production. They're focusing on they're focusing on the Cybertruck for some reason, even though they're literally just piling up unsold inventory. They're focusing on their autonomous robots, which don't seem to be going anywhere. They're focusing on the robotaxi, which is definitely not going anywhere. And now they're saying they're focusing on AI, and they say the future may be autonomous. Over my cold dead body, you fucking
Agreed.
ghouls.
They've been
Yeah.
trying to do that to the trucking industry for the last decade. They've been trying to get like self-driving and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
truckers get laid off because of that. And I guarantee you that every hick in a fucking big truck will be using their trucks to run those AI trucks off the road.
Yeah. Um, I think I know why they're doing this. My theory on why they're doing this is that everyone that wanted to own one of these already does, which is it seems to be kind of the theme in Tesla's production sales recently, is that when it comes to their whole line, they've completely sold out the market for these cars. Everyone that wanted a Cybertruck, all five of them, already owns one. Everyone that wants a Model S and Model X already owns one. They're not pulling in new buyers anymore because thanks to a number of factors, thanks to the fact that the technology's not there, thanks to the fact these things aren't really very fun to drive, they really only appeal to people that see cars as appliances, thanks, I don't like to say it, but it's true, to Elon's very politically polarizing statements. I'm not saying for or against, I'm saying that as a statement of fact. They have been polarizing, whether you agree with them or disagree with them. And the fact that the user base for these cars has polarized the market. These are not cars where you are allowed to have, weak opinions because the user base for these cars and the anti-user base for these cars have effectively turned it into either you love them or you hate them, which is somewhat understandable because they're very love them or hate them cars. All of that combined means they have a very limited pool of people that they can pull from to sell these things to, and they seem to have run out completely. Everyone that wants one already has. So it's not a super dumb idea to wrap up production on these as long as they're still making parts for them. It's
I
just
really feel like Tesla could do something here, though.
what they're choosing to focus on instead is weird because they're choosing to focus on a truck they won't let die. They won't admit that it's failed. A like allegedly fully autonomous cyber cab that is going to be even less attractive on the market than their existing lineup.
Yeah.
Especially in light of increasingly public failures of their autonomy. They're focusing on their autonomy, which I have a bone to pick because the SpaceX IPO was basically just a way to raise money for their fucking AI shit because their AI shit's going down in flames. And their Optimus robots, which are like overgeneralized. They're not particularly appealing in the market. I'm sorry, humanoid robots, there's a reason why we didn't put a ton of money into developing them, is because it turns out having, for any manufacturing task, having a robot that does one thing really well is actually better and more efficient than having a robot that can do a bunch of things kind of okay. So their
True.
focus is schizophrenic. This decision itself in a vacuum is not a terrible one, as long as they were replacing these with a similar vehicle that could kind of appeal to a new market. But they're not doing that. They're, I don't know what. And then, of course, this is like, burn your driveway is a pressure point for Tesla globally. Well,
No, it's not.
I mean, it kind
Rivian is barely still on the market at this point, and that's their biggest competitor here in the States.
And that's true. What I will say to Chinese automakers is that they are heavily subsidized by their government, which means that they can very effectively undercut companies like Tesla and Rivian and Lucid, but that's not going to last forever.
And that's their whole fucking game plan too, is to just try
yeah,
to undercut the market. It's basically exactly what fucking what's the ride share? Uber.
yeah,
When Uber came in, they did was undercut everybody else. They undercut taxis, they undercut everything so they could take over market share.
yeah. And they racked up a ton of
But
debt.
I really feel like this is kind of a dumb play by Tesla, and the reason I say that is because they have the ability to not change their lineup at all, but completely change the entire industry of how cars are made. We don't need to do dealerships. We don't need to have massive inventory. We talked about this on one of the last podcasts. What they could do is just have people go in and order either online or at dealership locations, have way smaller buildings, way less overhead, and then just build the order and have them delivered to where they want them.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that would be a lot smarter. And honestly, it'd change the whole game because if we could get all automakers to start that, we wouldn't have lots taking up every other fucking third of a mile down the street, like miles of car dealerships
The
where I
problem
live.
is that Tesla has not marketed itself on incrementally improving the state of the market. They've marketed themselves on completely upended everything, and their adherents base almost their entire identity on the notion this is something crazy and revolutionary that's going to change the world. And if you're not doing what Tesla is doing, then you're just a dinosaur that's going to die out, which is increasingly false. And it's very funny to watch that become increasingly false,
It's not
as
only
we will
brain dead,
see.
but everybody now knows it's brain dead.
Yeah, hence why this investor says that he expects Tesla stock could drop 50% this year. I think that's pessimistic. I think that's overly bearish. 20% would shock me, but I think it is going to go down. And his own firm has sold 60 million worth of shares, which is admittedly a drop in the bucket compared to the market cap of that company. But then again, that is probably one of the most overvalued companies in human history. So,
Although I think if you're trying to run a good play on the market right now, their share is going to inevitably go down for this. So even if you short for 10%,
mm-hmm,
you'll still make quite a bit of money if you invest properly.
yeah. I dislike Tesla because of what they've done to the car industry, absent the whole, dealer breaking the dealership model, which is a positive. What they've done to car design, what they've done to just how we set up cars in general, and I'm really, really glad that the car industry is finally getting Tesla's fucking hooks out of them and realizing that consumers don't want that crap. Such as with Rolls-Royce saying they're going to have proper V12s in their cars again, or Dodge putting a V8 back in the Charger.
You know what Rolls
Hell
Royce
yeah.
needs to do?
Yes.
Rolls Royce made an experimental engine when BMW bought Rolls Royce.
Yep.
They made an experimental V12 engine. They made three or four of them. One of them ended up in a movie car. They need to
Ooh.
revive that engine. So, have you ever seen the Johnny English movies?
Yes.
His V12 has this monstrous displacement fucking his Rolls-Royce Phantom has this crazy displacement engine that they made that has a ton of torque in it. That was that experimental motor. He went to the manufacturers and went, "Can I have this for the movie car? Can you like maybe put this in there?" And so they did. And honestly, I think if you really wanted Rolls-Royce to be like huge, you fucking even just a limited run of like 1,000 at most. You have 1,000 of those motherfuckers running around, being able to just like outpull people on tracks in a vehicle that weighs twice what anything else does, would be great marketing for that company. Are you kidding?
Oh. Well, Rowan Atkinson's a big car guy, so that doesn't shock me too
Oh,
much.
he's a huge car guy. It's awesome.
But the Dodge is putting a V8 in the Charger. Hell
Yeah, so we
yeah.
just got done talking about how electric cars are slowly dying and Tesla is being stupid, but also it's pretty inevitable because they were carried all the way to greatness anyway by government. And now we have the exact opposite. So we're going into Dodge bringing back every version of their V8. They're going to have at least three different, and then they're going to have the six pack, the regular V. I think there might even be a regular V6 in their lineup, and then also the EV. So they're going to they have one muscle car now in the Dodge Charger, the new body style, and they're gonna have 7 or 8 different fucking engine variations that end up in that car. That is crazy shit, dude. That isn't trims, that's engines. Okay?
You're gonna take it to the mechanic. They're like, what's it got in it? You're like, oh, it's got the V8s. Like, do you have any idea how little that narrows it down?
So
Which V8?
do you have the regular V8, the 6.4 scat pack, or do you have the fucking giant ass displacement with the supercharger Hellcat?
Yeah, and I must say, it looks great. It looks like if you wanted to take a classic muscle car and like bring that design but make it look kind of futuristic, which
It's
is
growing on me now that I know it's gonna have the right engine in it. I'm gonna be honest, when these
yes,
first came out, I thought they were ugly as fuck.
I actually kind of like that front end at first glance. It's like they're trying to do to it what the PT Cruiser tried to do, but it actually works instead of looking like shit. It looks fantastic, and if it's got that V8, I mean, even the inline six, which the other thing about your mechanic, by the way, is they do note stuffing a V8 into an engine bay designed for an inline six. So your mechanic is going to be swearing at you when you bring it in. For several reasons. If you've got a large displacement V8 in this thing, oh, hey, there's going to be no space to work on it.
They have an additional model year or two to figure that out, though, because
yes,
if this is true, then they're not even going to consider bringing it back until 2027. We're at the fucking start of 2026 right now.
Yeah,
effectively.
So 370 horsepower, 5.7 liter, a 485 horsepower, 6.4 liter, and then a 717 horsepower supercharged 6.2 liter. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, it's that supercharged one in particular is going to sound fantastic.
It already does. It's the same engine that's already in the Hellcat cars, like the older Hellcat cars. That's what's in them. So,
damn.
And then they have a bigger version of that. There's a 1,000 horsepower one called the Elephant.
Yes.
That they put in some of the trucks. If they end up finding a way to stuff that in here as like a limited drag pack edition.
Didn't someone put one of those in a Supra at one point?
Like I know somebody put a Hellcat in a Miata. The engine weighs as much as the fucking chassis of the car. That Hellcat Miata is so goddamn heavy. He says it's actually kind of hard to drive.
Well, I imagine so. It's got like what, a 70-30 weight distribution? I thought my Subi was backlight.
Let me see if I can find that, and I'll send you the picture.
Can you get me a picture of the engine bay, please? I need to see
that's what I'm doing.
How they cram that shit in there. God. Oh, that sounds amazing, though. Yeah, this sounds sexy.
It sticks an extra half foot out of the hood. I'm looking at pictures of it now. I'm trying to find a good one.
Oh, yeah. It is also a dinosaur when viewed through the lens of modern engine technology. I don't care.
The Hemi has been the Hemi has been one of the greatest engines ever made.
Okay. The twin turbo Hurricane inline 6 may be more fuel efficient. Those are words I want to hear when buying a muscle car. More fuel efficient.
I don't care about fuel efficiency. If I want fuel efficiency, I'll buy a Honda.
That reminds. I mean, to be fair, okay, if you're gonna buy a Honda, you do get fuel efficiency, but it could also be fast. That reminds me of that Top Gear clip where they're talking about like American buyers' priorities in the F-150, and it was like fuel economy is 23rd on the list of considerations. It's like, yeah, if I'm buying a muscle car with a 6.4 liter supercharged engine making 700 plus horsepower, I don't care about MPGs because A, I have the money to run the damn thing, and B, I'm probably not driving it like, I'm not dailying that thing. That's not a
Bring
car
up
that you
my screen
daily.
on Discord real quick, and then stream it to the masses.
Uh,
This is a Hellcat swapped Miata.
give
This
me
is the
a
kind of jackassery you have to commit in order to shove that engine in this car.
give me a quick second. There we go. Okay. I got you up. What the fuck?
Your reaction, you took one look at it and went, what is this jackass doing?
Oh, it's an NB too. Oh my word. That.
The engine is literally like bigger than the front
Ooh.
end of the car.
Okay, I need you to post that in Car Talk. No context, just the picture.
Copy image.
And I need I need to drive it. I need to
Everybody
drive it.
needs to drive it.
I need to drive
700
it.
horsepower. I doubt the thing goes anywhere. It's probably just a fucking. It's just for burnouts. It's just for burning those tires off the rim so hard that they explode in 5 seconds. All that's good for.
It's that line from Fast and Furious. It twisted the chassis off the line.
Yeah.
The amount of strut bracing you need to stop that car from just twisting like a soda can.
Yup.
Oh, but I want it. I don't even care, dude. I would put it in my living room and just stare at it. It would be at like the car equivalent of a coffee table book. It would be a conversation starter. I want a not even a mansion, a house big enough, but I can have a living room big enough to have that fucker on a podium. So anytime someone comes over to my house, they take one look at it and ask some kind of question, and I can lead them into a conversation.
But yes, we need to. So yeah. Just
Yeah, you definitely don't care about fuel efficiency when you're driving. I mean, I say that thing probably because it's in a Miata, probably still gets like 20 miles to the gallon at least. Because it probably weighs under 3,000 pounds.
He steps on it and he gets 0.02 miles to the gallon because the entire time he's trying on the throttle, it's just spinning tire and barely moving. So he goes nowhere. He could go so far, but he's gone nowhere.
Yeah, so I don't know why. I feel like if the negatives they bring up are like, oh, it's not as fuel efficient, buddy, you're fishing. You're fishing for negatives to say about this car. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. Like, car journalists. Top Gear did car journalism best because they realized that nobody cares. We want something fun. The problem, I think, is that it was the Japanese invasion. And as much as I love Japanese cars, I love those tiny little things with tiny little engines that are very efficient and also go places. It did kind of ruin the American car market because what happened is that American car manufacturers saw that people were buying all these Japanese cars with their tiny little fuel-efficient engines, and they said, clearly what people want is tiny fuel-efficient engines in our giant pony cars. And now people don't buy pony cars because they're boring. And it's like, no, the Japanese make the tiny little fuel-efficient cars with tiny little fuel-efficient engines that still fucking go. That they're great at handling, and they go, and they have a tiny engine, and they're fun in their own right. The Koreans take that and they make the off-brand version. Americans make big, heavy cars with big, heavy engines that go.
Yeah.
And Europeans make very fancy little things that tune like Swiss watches, and for the 50 miles you can actually drive them before they blow up, they are brilliant. Like, they make cars that are so efficient and so amazing and run terribly. But by God, are they beautiful. And they all have their niche. And I hope what this and whatever Ford is doing is American manufacturers realizing, hang on, we're American. We don't need to put tiny little Japanese engines in everything. We can build cars with some muscle to them. And people will buy them.
Right after that period, Japan, because of car accidents in Japan, and they wanted people to stop running from the police.
Mm-hmm.
Every car manufacturer came together and said, they're going to sanction us and they're going to fucking make laws against us if we don't do something. So here's what we're going to do. Everything we make is going to be under 390 horsepower. The only problem is the Japanese manufacturers were like, yeah, it can be under 390 horsepower from the factory. We're going to make it highly tunable and make sure everybody fucking knows it too. So
Actually,
every car made during that time, what was it? It was somewhere under 400 horsepower.
276 horsepower.
270.
So,
Okay, so I was 100 over.
So from between 1989 and 2004, they still have the agreement. It's just higher now. But for that period, every car made 276 horsepower, which is why cars like the Supra, the GTR, are the way that they are. They only make 276 horsepower with a 3.6 liter inline six that you could tune to the moon because they're overbuilt.
And that's the way cars should be built from the factory. They should be overbuilt and undertuned.
Yeah.
That is every performance car should be like that from the market.
That's
if the Mustangs are going to come out with 450, 480 horsepower, they need to be tunable to 700 just on fucking gas.
That's why people love BMWs. You download a tune and you can get another 20, 30 out of it because it's that
a downpipe and a tune will add 150 horsepower to the M2s. And that's not even the current M2s. That's the last year's model or last body style.
Yeah. Charger Hellcat will challenge the 668 horsepower CTS-V Blackwing if it's offered with Ford. It's a Charger.
CTS Blackwing.
If you put 2 extra doors on a Charger and you make it like a fucking sedan, I swear to God, I am blowing up Detroit. I don't care. I don't care. I don't even care. I don't care if they're still headquartered there. I will do it just to make a point. No, you are not putting an extra set of doors. Son of a bitch, they already did.
Well, the Charger was the 4-door for the last like 10 model years.
I hate that. No, it needs
The Challenger has been the 2-door one, and the Charger has been the 4-door one for the recent model years. In the back in the 70s, they were both 2 doors.
Okay, so ignore me. I don't know American cars.
That's why I'm here, and that's why I keep bringing up these.
I mean, you say that, but you own 2 cars, and they're both Japanese.
I have not been able to afford the gas for a V8, or else I'd own one.
Fair enough.
So the CT5 Blackwing, by the way, is the only 4-door I'd ever buy. It comes in manual, and it's a supercharged V8.
Yeah,
it's a 600, 700 horsepower supercharged V8.
I've seen those, and they look hot.
They're sexy.
Yes. Okay, I think we've fawned enough over this thing. I love this thing. It's
not only that, but we're like way over here as far as fucking where we went on this podcast. We are so far in left field right now.
Okay,
so we did Tesla failing.
Yes.
And now we did Dodge making the right decision and bringing the V8 back. And now we're going into the next one, which is Chevy not learning from Ford's mistake with the Mustang EV. Let's see how that's going to go.
It's not even the Mustang EV they're not learning from. They're failing to learn the lesson of the fucking Ford Capri, which pisses me off to no end. And I need context for the viewers listening at home. So, the Ford Capri. Let me bring this fucker up. Okay.
Take it away, sir.
Ford Capri is so legendary, they made a song about it. Mark I Ford Capri. Give it a listen. It's a banger of a track. Not just a British band made a song about it. That's how amazing it is. This is the Mark I Ford Capri. Richard Hammond drove one in the last episode of the Grand Tour, the one that made me cry. It is gorgeous. It is sexy. It is a wonderful fastback coupe. They put like a million different engines in it. Look at that interior. It's got a clock even. I mean, yeah, that's the Mark I Ford Capri. Right I'm not streaming on Discord. I apologize. Let me rectify that.
Are you streaming on the Streamlabs?
I am, yes. Well, I'm not streaming. I'm recording on Streamlabs. Yes. This is the Mark II Ford Capri. They did what everyone should do when it comes to sequels. They took the original and they made it better in every conceivable way. It was offered with a more sensible lineup of engines, everything from a 1.3 liter i4, which, I mean, look at that dinky little thing, all the way up to a 3 liter S6 V6. Oh. So, that's the Ford Capri. They have the Mark III. Very good. Very nice. So this is a series of fastback coupes. And then they stopped making them, unfortunately. There's a motorsport version. And then this is their reboot. It's a fucking EV SUV. It is a disgrace to the Capri name. It's awful. It's disgusting. They slapped the name on because they thought it would be nostalgic. I mean, does that look in any way like that? They're both yellow. That's about it. So, yeah, when I hear that Chevy's turning the Camaro into an EV, what I think is the Ford Capri and how Ford massacred my boy.
You know what this looks like? This looks like another Chevy bullshit. So the Ford Bronco had a competitor back in the day. It was the Chevy.
I'll tell you what this looks like. It looks like they took the Camaro and they made it fat. It's an obese Camaro. The Camaro Land Whale Edition. I mean, really, it does. It looks fat. It looks bulbous. It looks
It does.
distended and disproportionate. I mean, I hate to say this. The Crosstrek, relative to the Impreza, looks better, and I'm not entirely a fan of the Crosstrek, looks better relative to the Impreza than this thing looks relative to the Camaro. And the Camaro, in my opinion, wasn't a very good looking car to begin with, at least the new ones.
The word I was looking for was Blazer. Do you remember the 80s, 90s Chevy Blazers, the really boxy SUV crossover things?
Yes.
So the Blazer doesn't look good anymore, and it looks a lot like this. It looks like they're just taking everything and making it look like the Equinox, the Blazer, or the Traverse. It all looks terrible.
Yeah, it is the one car style we have now. Which, I mean, yeah, again,
that's beautiful.
That's a gorgeous square body. That even, I think, looks nice. I like that one.
And if I remember correctly, they made a couple of those with like V8s.
Yeah, it's boring but dependable, and I kind of like that. I like that, 90s aughts boring but dependable look. Just a fan. That looks terrible, and that looks atrocious. So, yeah. What the fuck?
The only people that have brought back a car name recently that did it right were the Broncos. And I didn't even like the new Broncos when they first came out, but it's the closest thing we have to an old style in a new fucking trim for SUVs.
Yeah. Number of two-door models dwindles and SUVs popularity booms because people are buying cars that don't care. I don't even think it's that SUVs popularity booms. I think it's a combination of consumers have really fucked priorities, and like companies don't want to sell sedans anymore because the profit margins aren't as high.
And families.
Yeah, swoopy four-door fastback SUVs. That is not swoopy, and I'm not going to call that a fastback. You can say it's technically a fastback because it's got the right, chine or whatever. No, it's not a fastback. Fuck you.
That's a sad attempt at a lot of things. And I don't even want to talk about it anymore. What the fuck is that?
That's a concept image. It's never going into production. It actually, it looks halfway cool. Only halfway.
That concept can't decide whether it wants to be a two-door, a four-door, a sedan, or an SUV. Do you see that shit? Roofline is too low for an SUV, but too high for a sports car, and it barely fits the back door on there.
Yeah. Like I said, it looks halfway good, but not any more than that. As for battery tech...
Oh, good. It has batteries instead of gasoline, like it should.
Oh, joy. Yeah. These numbers are actually fairly low as far as I understand it, but I don't pay attention to them. 241 to 365 horsepower. Oh, great. Because that's what we want. We want a 241 horsepower, like 5,000 pound EV muscle car.
So we want something that the only reason people buy EVs, or one of the only reasons people buy EVs, is because when you put your foot through the floor, it goes meow, and it's not even going to do fucking that. So now you're dealing with EV reliability for 300 horsepower at most. That's not good. And then the estimated price says 36 to 65 grand. I'm going to
Okay.
guess it's going to be up near the top of that number, not the lower one.
I mean, even if they can bring a car with 241 horsepower for 36 grand, that's
Nobody's going to buy it because everybody's
the
done with the charging
same the
architecture.
same power as an 8.6, which is I think our metric at this point. Same power as an 8.6. 5 grand more expensive and probably 2,000 pounds heavier. No.
Yeah.
No, Chevy, I don't want it. Like,
Well, and I'll compare this directly to the competitor that my mom owns. She owns a fucking Equinox,
mm-hmm.
and it's a reliable gas engine. The thing has never had any problems, and this is going to have all kinds of them. It's just
60,
not going to be good.
yeah, 65.5 for they're estimating up to 365 horsepower. So it costs about as much. I can get a lightly used Mark V Supra for the same price, and it has 400 horsepower, and it
They're not even
weighs
announcing
half as much.
performance trims.
Yeah.
They're not announcing performance trims. They're just giving us a number. Oh, 65.5. It's like, but it is for 65.5. If the high end of 65.5 is 365 horsepower, what do you do? I know it's a family hauler, but the thing
Mm-hmm.
is going to end up in the shop more than it's going to end up in your driveway. Let's be real.
More extreme future versions could borrow the Hummer EV's 3-motor setup to produce up to 1,000 horsepower. 1,000 horsepower that it can't fucking use.
Yes, but even the Hummer EVs are being sold like crazy right now because they're worth less than half of what they were. I don't think
Yeah.
they've gone down that much, but one guy just sold his. He bought it like a year ago or
Mm-hmm.
something, and then just sold it, according to what I was watching, for 30% drop in price already, and he barely
Mm-hmm.
put miles on the fucking thing.
Yeah. And again, it looks like this. I remind you, this fat bastard. Why, Chevy? I mean,
But
is there how many good decisions has Chevy made in the last like 5 years?
they haven't gotten rid of the Tahoe. I think that's the only one I can think of.
Okay, but what does the Tahoe look like nowadays?
The same as it's always looked. It's
Uh,
had facelifts every 2 years, but other than that, they look pretty good.
I disagree. I think that looks ugly. I
I
think
think the
that looks
facelift isn't the best, but the rest of the body style is good. I think with them, they typically this kind of sets the standard for what every other fucking SUV of that size class looks like.
I mean, that
But
didn't even look great,
if
but
I had to choose between the fucking Chevy version of the truck, and the GMC version of the truck, I'd still choose the GMC because the Yukon is baby.
that is true. I mean, the new Corvette's pretty awesome. Why couldn't they take the team that makes the new Corvette and just make them make everything? They know how to make cool cars. The new Corvette fucking outdrags a Bugatti.
The new Corvette is an amazing car.
Yes.
I
Why
am
don't they make more
still
of
on
that?
the fence. I am still on the fence about it one being called a Corvette. Like I'm big on that argument. Like, to me, a Corvette is a front engine car. They could have called it anything else. They could have started it as the Stingray. They could have named it the Stingray Corvette and
That's
then
true.
just dropped the Corvette for the next model year. And I think a lot of people would have been like, okay, we ended on a high note with the C7s. We're good. Now we're moving into this, and these are perfectly good cars. I think a lot of people are still mad about the way the new Corvette is designed. It's a fantastic car. It's proven to be a fantastic car. I'm gonna be honest, I think getting into them is a little bit too cheap. Every fucking asshole with any amount of money has one here. And then the Z06s are a little bit rarer, and I've seen 3 ZR1s at this point. But I think
I
the
don't
normal ones are
mind them. I
overplayed.
don't mind them being cheap. I mind them being cheap enough to be purchased by they're that bad combination of affordable enough to be purchased by someone who doesn't have any experience with sports cars, but enough power that someone without any experience in sports cars wrecks it.
Yes.
It's the daddy's money car, and that's
Which used to be the Mustang.
I don't even blame the car for that. It's just unfortunate. But yeah, this thing is a disappointing piece of shit, and I really hope that Chevy at some point gets their head out of their ass and realizes that we want cars that are fun, and this is not fun. 365 horsepower out of a car that's like 4,000 or 5,000 pounds is not fucking fun, especially when again it looks like fucking that. That is egregious looking. That is ugly as sin. Because again, it's like they took a Camaro, which in my opinion, doesn't look that great to begin with, and they just ballooned it. It looks obese. I mean, it does.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much more I can say on this, especially because this article's a little bit vague, but...
I don't think they've announced enough for the dude to actually have written an article. I think he wrote an article like people write articles about very vague postings.
Dual motor all-wheel drive for a combined output of 300 horsepower and 355 pound-feet of torque.
Wow.
Awesome.
Oh my god.
That's still less than a Supra at probably the same price. I mean,
well, and let's be honest, if you're gonna buy that anyway, you could buy any fucking SUV and you could buy a V6 SUV that you don't care about.
I know what they're going to do to it too. They're going to give it vroom vroom noises.
The fake fucking vroom vroom noises out of the speakers while you're trying to drive and listen to music.
They're going to put a set of speakers in the back and they're going to make really awful canned vroom vroom noises. I know they're going to do that. That sounds like the kind of thing that the good idea fairies at Chevy think that they should do. It's going to make the most god-awful, like, Forza Horizon tier vroom vroom noises.
Well, dude, everything in Forza Horizon 4, if I remember correctly, like maybe it was 3 or 4, but I swear to God, everything sounded like a V12.
Yeah.
Like nothing sounded good in that game.
Oh my God. Fucking Chevy. Anyways, this is an opinion piece, which I think I had a kind of a strong opinion on it when I first read it, and I think now I have a bit of a more nuanced opinion on it. So the argument that Car Scoops is making is that speed limits are outdated. Broadly, I agree. Their argument essentially boils down to a combination of we have better tires on cars nowadays, we have better suspensions on cars nowadays, and we have better stability assist on cars nowadays. And all that combined means that cars are they handle a lot better at speed, they are a lot less dangerous at speed, and that speed limits are designed for much older cars that simply can't handle the road conditions we have today. And in addition, they note that the dangers and the risks when it comes to vehicle accidents, it's not about how fast you're going, it's about how fast you're going relative to the other guy. And they're not entirely wrong. So, and this graph is interesting and worth exploring, but first, yeah, they note that it's pretty common to exceed posted limits. 40% of drivers admit going 15 or more over the limit in the last month, which I can buy.
Well, dude, everything but downtown.
Yeah.
I mean, and here's the problem too: is nobody's gonna pay attention to those fucking limits anyway. If you just make everything 85, one, it's a two. My take on this is I do agree that the speed limits being what they are stupid. They need to be raised at least 10 minimum. Across the board in most places. But my other opinion is that it's not just the rules, it's the culture. And the culture right now is people won't stay off their fucking phones. So making them go faster.
That's kind of the other side of the problem. And this is where I think their article falls flat, is like modern cars. I don't even necessarily think this is restricted to modern cars, and I'll explain why. But modern cars made in the last 5-10 years, can absolutely cruise comfortably on the highway at 85 or 90 miles an hour without any issues and still be able to handle and react to emergent situations if driven properly by a driver that's paying attention. And older cars without the same level of assistance, yes, theoretically, they're not as equipped, but they can still run modern tires, and they tend to be bought by more experienced drivers. The kind of people that are buying 20-year-old sports cars tend to be people that are better drivers, more experienced drivers.
Enthusiasts that want to take
Yeah,
them and go do dumb shit with them,
yeah,
which means they actually now have to know how to drive.
yeah. It's if you're buying a newer sports car, there's a decent chance that you are new to performance vehicles, that you're new to enthusiast motoring, and so you're probably not super skilled. If you're buying a 20-year-old sports car, you have enough experience to know exactly what you're looking for. Nobody
When
goes
it
out and
comes with
buys a 2013 FRS who doesn't already want a 2013 FRS.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, there's nothing that makes it more apparent than the new BMW market,
Mm-hmm.
like the M3, M4, even M2s.
Yeah,
So these cars, I know the M3s and M4s come normally in all-wheel drive.
yeah,
There's a button to turn off the front wheel drive so that it's just rear wheel.
yep,
People will do that leaving car shows. They spin out all the time. Nobody knows how to drive these cars in rear wheel.
yeah. Um, and that's kind of where the problem comes, and that's the reason why it's not as straightforward as just being able to raise the speed limit. I personally believe that in an ideal world, we don't have speed limits on interstate highways except for certain stretches, like the Rocky Mountains. You know, it's reasonable to set a 60 or 70 mile an hour speed limit going over the Rockies. I've driven the Rockies. It's freaking
Yeah.
treacherous in some stretches.
So
Most
mountains, tight
state,
spaces.
yeah, most state highways should have speed limits that are 70, 80 miles an hour. You should really only have super restrictive speed limits in cities, and especially in residential areas, school zones, etc. Um, However, there's a flip side of that coin. Because if we're going to do what Germany does, we have to do what Germany does, which is
You can't half-ass it.
getting your driver's license is not something that is like, oh, you take a written test, you do a couple basic maneuvers at low speed in a town, and you're good to go. Certainly, and I don't even necessarily think that it should be super hard to get into cars. I just think my personal ideal is that we have kind of a graduated tier system for licensing where we say it's easy to get into small little commuter cars, but you're limited on how fast you can drive them, you're limited on how much power you have available, so and you're limited in how much the car weighs, so that you're limited in how much damage you can do to other people in a crash. And then as you gain experience, you can get higher and higher tiers of licensing, which gets you access to faster and heavier cars, but which are harder to get. And that, I think, is the best balance between accessibility, which I believe in. I mean, the only way we're going to have a healthy enthusiast motoring space is if it's relatively easy to get into cars. But at the same time, balancing that with, you know, the number of videos I've seen of people with like 2 days of driving experience getting behind the wheel of a Supra, of an M car, of an AMG, of a Corvette, whatever, and utterly obliterating, if they're lucky, only utterly obliterating their own car. If they're unlucky or particularly reckless or foolish, obliterating the car of somebody else who just wanted to go to work.
I could think,
You
I'm
know,
actually currently thinking of 10 different examples off the top of my head where some rich kid
yeah,
gets fucking some nice car. There was, I believe it was in either Florida or California, some rich kid got access to a fucking Lamborghini SUV and ended up killing a family of 4
yeah.
with the car because he acted like an idiot. And it's
We
like,
we need to have fewer restrictions on the actual road itself in terms of what you're allowed to do, more restrictions on what you're not allowed to do. Getting pulled over for, you know, texting on your fucking phone or whatever while you're driving should just automatically suspend your license for at least 6 months. And you should have to take a test to get it back. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. I don't care. You know,
I really think
I
it's any
want,
consequences at all would fucking
yeah,
improve behavior drastically.
yeah. I want a road where I, the responsible hooligan, can do responsible hooligan shit, and where the random dipshit in an SUV who can't get off their fucking phone takes the bus.
Well, dude, and here's the thing: not Japan, fucking Germany has the autobahn. They have uncapped speed limits on parts of that road, and they barely have any crashes on those sections of road. Do you know
Yeah,
why? Here
restriction.
in America, people ride the left lane for miles, and they're going the fucking speed limit. Do you know what could be going on in there? People going past them. That is called the passing lane. If you're not going to be going fast enough to pass, then you need to get back over. Do
Yeah.
you know the reason why swimming exists? If anybody doesn't know what swimming is, it's the people that do this through traffic. Like just all over the road going through traffic because they can't get past it. I've been guilty of it. Other people I know have been guilty of it. Everybody that's guilty of it also has to say one thing: stay out of the fucking left lane. The sport wouldn't exist. It's been made into a global phenomenon because people don't know how to quit being fucking road Karens in the left lane.
Yeah. And I mean, how many videos have you seen where it's not just someone distracted or stupid on their phone? It's somebody driving too fucking slowly. I mean,
The slow drivers cause the
yeah,
crashes.
yeah.
I've seen a lot of it
It's
because
and
everybody else is following the speed limit. All of a sudden, you try to get over to pass somebody, and you have to
yeah.
go the wrong way and go right because the fucking left isn't moving like it should be, and this guy's sitting still for no reason.
Or, you're trying to make a left hand. I have been in a situation where I'm making an unprotected left. There is enough space between I'm behind somebody also making the same unprotected left. There is enough space if the guy in front of me clears the intersection at a reasonable reasonable pace that I can clear the intersection before the next guy comes. I can have 100 yards of space on him. And I will follow this guy doing a left, and he slams on his fucking brakes halfway through the turn. And so now I'm sitting here behind this guy who's crawling at like 5 miles an hour because he's an SUV and he's scared of the gas pedal. And I've got
No
somebody coming
car,
up and coming up and coming up. And the problem
no
is
car
the guy
needs to
who's
slow down that much
yeah, and the
to
problem
take a turn anymore.
is the guy who's coming straight probably is sitting there on his phone and he's going to look it. Worst comes to worst, the guy in front of me, I've seen it happen, comes to damn near a dead stop making a left. And if that happens, this guy looks up, oh shit, he's got 50 yards to stop before he T-bones me. It's
The
slow
one time,
drivers. It's
the
slow
one
fucking
time I wish I
drivers.
had a Tesla. The one time I wish I had a Tesla. Last week I was driving to work, so like I think this was Friday. Driving to work, I rode by this bitch and I stayed next to her. She didn't look up for her phone for 10 minutes.
Good
She's in the
lord.
driver's seat. She's just driving down the fucking yeah. She I think she went, kind of just glanced
Mm-hmm.
up every now and then to check what was going on in front of her, but she was on her phone like this with it basically in front of her face, and then she would just like look over a little bit. She didn't look up for 10 minutes. It was fucking nuts.
And the problem that I have is the Tesla crowd go, well, the solution to this is we make every car self-driving. No, the solution to this is you fuckers take the bus. And I mean, they put it best here. Blanket limits protect bad drivers and punish everyone else. Yes, 100%, right? We are making road laws based on the lowest common denominator. We make road laws under the assumption that people are going to be sitting there and texting on their phones. And the problem with that is that implicitly accepts and tolerates that people are going to be sitting here texting on their phones. No, take, zero tolerance distraction policy. The only thing you can do is you can get a little vent clip holder and you can like glance at it, select select a new song. That's it. It's all you can do. Just glance, select a song, go back, because that distracts you only as much as like adjusting your vents. That's it. That's the limit. If you're sitting there texting, we pull your ass over. We take away your license on the fucking spot. You can pay for a fucking tow. We fine you at least $1,000 and we suspend that license for 6 months. And in order to get it back, you have to take your driving test again. First offense. Second offense, we suspend your license for a year and it's a $5,000 fine. Third offense, 5 years, $10,000 fine. Fourth offense, jail time. I don't care. We need to start putting actual punishments down for these bad fucking drivers. Because, again, I'm sick and tired of living in a world that's ruled by the lowest common denominator.
Yeah,
Public
I'm the
roads
same way.
public roads must be safe for everyone, including those with poor judgment, limited ability, or limited skill. Counterpoint to that, people with poor judgment, limited ability, and limited skill shouldn't be driving. There needs to be a minimum threshold that where we say you have to be at least this, you have to have at least this good a judgment, at least this much ability, and at least this much skill in order to operate a motor vehicle. If you can't meet that threshold, take the fucking bus.
Agreed. Or ask people for rides, and they'll be so tired of you that maybe you'll learn some fucking judgment.
Yeah. And
crazy how that works.
This gets me to this chart, which is kind of interesting. If I can find it, it's horribly zoomed in. Okay, I'm just gonna open this in a new tab. So this is the chart they have. It's a little confusing. You'll note this line: all fatal crashes per 10 billion miles. Which, I mean, it was going down from the early 90s all the way down to like 2014 is where it dropped. What do you think? What do you think happened in 2014 to start it going up again?
The invention of the iPhone,
yeah,
like the touch iPhone,
the popularization of smartphones, and then of course it was going up. It started going back down again. We were actually starting to do well, and then guess what? 2020, everyone became a shit driver after COVID.
Yeah, and because nobody wanted to stay at home anymore. I have this conversation with people all the fucking time. Ever since COVID, there's 10 times more traffic on the road at any time of day. No matter what. Nobody knows how to stay home anymore because COVID kept them trapped inside for 2 years.
Yeah. The really telling line, I think, here is rear ends per 10 billion miles. It drops, and it's starting to go back up again. Rear end collisions only happen if, occasionally they happen if your brakes fail, which is your fucking problem. Maintain your shit, or you're distracted. That's it. You're either not maintaining your car properly or you're distracted. These are just straight, people fucking up. It's going back up again.
Every single one of those lines, you can even see the pink line, and I decrease in non-ECS. What do you think that means? I'm trying to figure that out.
Non-ESC.
Non-ESC, yeah.
That's the percentage of cars that do not have electronic stability control. And you'll note now it's like 38% maybe of cars sold do not have electronic stability control. But I mean, then again,
that's not pertaining to crashes, but every single one of these metrics was either consistent or going in the right direction, and then 2020 came along.
And everyone became shit drivers. And everyone stopped caring. Is the other thing. Like people stopped giving a shit on the road. And that's what it feels like. It's not just there's more people on the road, it's that people don't care anymore.
No, they don't. And I'm gonna be honest. People have family come in from other countries and stuff, and those family borrow cars and shit, and then get into wrecks. The culture of driving is different around the world. If you have family coming in from like India or somewhere, I don't know if you've ever seen roads in India.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say different. I'm not gonna say different. I'm gonna say worse. Our driving culture is worse than Germany's and Japan's. They've got it figured out.
Our driving culture is much worse.
Yeah, but as far as the world is concerned, we're pretty okay.
Yeah, we're like top 4.
Yeah. So but, I mean, the article
driving in India. I mean, people are they're all on bikes, and there's no lanes.
Yeah.
You're going through a town, and you're just like dodging anything because nobody cares.
Yeah.
And so those people come here, and then they do the same shit here, and they get into accidents all the time.
Yeah. The article makes some good points about the technology side of things, and they make a good argument as to why we need to be smarter about how we regulate the roads, because speed limits aren't working.
Nobody follows speed limits anyway.
Yeah. And they make that point, but it's like, I agree that, yeah, speed limits should be higher in most places. Road laws should be, well, not necessarily road laws. Driving, the way we restrict driving and how fast you can drive and shit like that should be less restrictive. But the caveat to that is that we need a better class of driver. We need to stop giving out licenses to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that can pass a basic written test. Especially we like the fucking 5,000-pound trucks, SUVs, giant EVs, the fucking 600 horsepower supercars. I hate to say this, I don't like there being barriers put in place to access driving, but there need to be some common sense barriers put in place. And on the flip side, I still think at the bottom level, we need to make it accessible enough that people can get into driving and maybe go, hey, this is pretty fun. I want to pursue becoming a better driver, and give them an incentive structure where they can become a better driver.
Yeah, right now it's not about brains or it's not about skill or it's not about anything that it needs to be. It's just about, oh, if you have enough money, you can get into
Yeah.
this.
And if we don't do, and I know there's some people that be critical of my approach, and they'll say, oh, well, why are you advocating for restricting licensure and all that? It's like, well, because the alternative is we get Britain, where our main roads have speed limits that are like 45 miles an hour, where you just can't go anywhere in a timely fashion because
I
if
feel like in the long run, this would work out. I have a plan for this. Do you
mm,
want to hear my plan?
yeah,
I vote for Texas to start doing this as a starter and see how it works. So what we do is instead of pulling over speeders, anybody that's speeding or whatever, you can still pull people over for what you perceive as safety threats, like no lights and no plate, because you need the plate to be identifiable or whatever they want to rationalize that as. But here's what we do. We don't pull over speeders anymore. If somebody's speeding, you just let them go about their day until they cause an accident. If they do cause an accident, throw the book at them. But what you actually do is every time you see a group of cars, 5 or 6 long, going the speed limit in the fast lane, you pull over the entire block of cars and give them all giant ass tickets.
yeah.
Why are you in the fast lane? Why are you in the fast lane? Why are you in the fast lane? If you had a chance to pass him, why didn't you? So that you could keep going and then you wouldn't be pulled over right now. So everybody would learn to stay out of the fast lane unless they were passing people.
Yeah. I, I just, what I see is like right now the only lever we have to pull in terms of road safety is speed limits, and it's just going to keep ratcheted down, ratcheted down, ratcheted down until eventually we live in a shitty world where we have 10 million speed cameras and absurdly low speed limits. What I want to do is I want to give more levers to play with, so that we're not just ratcheting down speed limits. So maybe we can start raising speed limits. We can start acknowledging, as they say, and I think they're right in this article, that modern cars are a lot safer than they were when the speed limits were made.
Well, and the
And
big rig industry has already proved that this doesn't work. So, big companies that have all automatic trucks now
mhm,
have a lot of safety features, and then they have the car speed limited to like 67 to 70 miles an hour at most.
mhm,
And then all the private companies are like, we don't care about our speed limit caps. So they'll do 80 or 90 as a speed limit thing where they'll just be able to go that speed. And the private companies only account for like, they account for, I'm not even going to pull a number out of my ass right now, but they account for a very small number of the crashes. The fucking company guys still getting most of the crashes. There's a lot more of them, so that makes up for some of it. But the truth is, half of these accidents come from the fact that it's road rage incidents. They don't go fast enough. A guy comes up behind them, gets trapped there for 5 minutes, and gets really angry about it, and then comes and fucking like hits the brake right in front of them, and then they get in a front end accident. But that's counted as the truck's fault.
yeah.
How in the fuck?
And road rage is another problem that we've had, especially ever since COVID. And I think, without going too deep into it, I think Texas already has the solution to
Yeah, an armed society is a
that.
polite society. Yeah.
You walk up to my car with a tire iron in your hand. Okay, you're a lethal threat. So, I mean, I don't really have anything more to say other than, like, we need to think smarter, not harder. We do need to raise speed limits, but in order to get to a point where we can do that, we need to really start being a little bit smarter about how we do licensure. Oh, and the other thing, if you are, I think we should start preemptively pulling people over for no insurance. I think, I frankly, I wish I didn't live in a society where it's necessary, but it is necessary, unfortunately, is just actively scanning license plates with OCR as they go by. And if you've got a license plate in your car and it's not associated with any insurance policy, pull your ass over, impound the car. Done.
Well, dude,
You don't get to fucking drive. If your car doesn't have valid insurance, you don't get to drive, because I am sick and fucking tired of hearing about it. And the numbers are absurd. I think I saw a number. I can't corroborate this, but it was as high as like 40% of people on the road in Washington State didn't have fucking insurance. I mean, when I was in basic training, and there were people sitting in the bays who were bragging about how they didn't have car insurance, and in fact, how if you got car insurance, you were an idiot. How it was stupid to get car insurance because, oh, they're never going to punish you for it. Well, guess what? You wreck into somebody, they're fucked if you don't have insurance and you crash into somebody. So I have, and as someone who's been wrecked into, has lost a car because it's been crashed into, I have no fucking sympathy, no fucking whatever.
Yeah, you lost a car to a kid that didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Hence why I am such a, like, jackbooted authoritarian when it comes to this kind of shit.
I'm sorry, I would have turned WWE into an actual sport with actual physical consequences on that kid if he had come up to me and gone, oh, well, we have insurance, so do you really care? Motherfucker, yes, I do. It's my personal car. It's my baby.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, it's fucking anybody without insurance. I agree with you, and I think the punishment should be worse than that. I think if you pass by a cop with no plate or fake plate and they catch you, they better crush the car. And I don't usually say crush the car, but we have so much extra inventory right now, it's not going to matter much anyway. That car should not only be impounded, it should be crushed.
Yeah.
And then you should be in jail for at least a month.
More. But yeah. So that's all I got to say on this. It's
oh no, find the crap out of them and then put them in jail for a month, but don't keep them in there too long because then we're paying taxes to keep them alive.
So now we got to follow that up with what this was supposed to be. That kind of turned into an impromptu what grinds my gears. This is supposed to be what's actually what grinds my gears, so we've really got to open those vents on this one. New AAA survey released from the AAA newsroom. I didn't know they had a newsroom. Good for them. 6 in 10 drivers struggle with headlight glare. Yeah, I'm at least 3 of those. Motherfucker,
I'm the other half.
I have astigmatism, and I have light sensitivity. The upside to light sensitivity is I can see, I'm not going to say perfectly in the dark, but I can see really well in the dark. Unless I'm driving my FRS, and some asshole has his high beams on going the other direction. Then I can't see shit. Because...
So I pull into my
headlights.
house. If my mother's parked in the front, I'm coming home from work at 2 a.m. My mother's parked in the front. My dad is parked backwards in the thing. And then because he drives a truck, it's easier to just back it in and then pull it out straight when we leave with the truck because it's a big truck. So, and then I pull in and I just park right in front of him. Well, if we need to move cars for the following morning or something and it's dark outside, he unlocks the truck, and because it shit's on auto, it's right in my face while I'm trying to pull it. It's so bad. I've gotten so mad at him a couple times because of that shit.
Like, to give a picture of what the problem is.
Compare the 2015 FRS to the 2020 Ram 2500.
Will do, once it actually works. Oh my god.
Not 2020, 2023 Ram 2500.
I think I'll just search for it. I think actually for Scion they only have like the TC or whatever. Oh yeah, no, it's only the TC. So
well, then just do Toyota Subaru.
Yeah, the Toyota 86. 2012 2016 Toyota 86, which is the Scion FRS, to what was it, the Ram 2500? Oh, fuck.
Yeah. 2022 or newer, I think. That works.
Yeah. So that's where the headlights are. Right, that's where the head is.
So this is my problem every time I have to move cars.
Yeah. It's absurd. It's really bad if you're in a sports car, and I understand that people are going to go, ooh, then you shouldn't have bought a sports car. Counterpoint, how about we have headlights that don't shine directly in people's fucking faces? How about we don't have LEDs that blind the shit out of people? How about we actually angle this shit? How about you turn off your fucking high beams? Because people are so fucking lazy about that shit. They just leave that shit on, and then, yeah, I don't care. I'll pass it in a couple seconds.
Does your car have an auto setting for your headlights? Because I don't think mine does.
Nope. Nope. I
I don't
just
think any should have a fucking auto setting. I think you should have to turn them on and off.
well, the counterpoint to that is that then people won't turn them off. Or do you mean like the headlights? Headlights.
The headlights.
Oh, well, yeah, I agree with that.
If you have to turn them on and turn them off, you're paying more attention to what is going on in the vehicle anyway. So I'm sorry, but people are fucking idiots. Anything to make them pay attention is better.
Yeah, it's there's so many problems here. It's the fact that we're angling them higher to get better visibility. It's the fact
That's
they're all
not even the 25. That's the 1500, and it's bad.
yeah. It's the fact that we're all using these stupid LEDs. The fact that people will turn off their freaking high beams. It's the fact that every single fucking SUV nowadays is this like slab fronted piece of shit with the headlights mounted as high up as they can get them. Which I mean, because it didn't used to be this freaking bad. I mean,
I'm
let
gonna
me
be honest, if they mounted the headlights near the bottom of the fucking panel instead of near the top, it'd probably end up easier for everybody.
yeah. I mean, let me try and find a, uh, a truck from the 90s. They'll probably have the Ranger. Yes, the Ranger. Two-door pickup super cab, 04 to 05. Yeah, see, that's the headlights. I mean, that's not great. That's about chin height. But the other thing is, they're also angled a lot better. So in
They're not
reality,
only angled,
when the light hits you, it's about here on your car,
it's
which is a lot easier
pre-LED,
to
so
make.
it's yellow light instead of white light.
Which is another thing. They should all be mandated to be yellow. But how do you do that? It's easy. Wavelength. The light has to be between these specified wavelengths. There you go. Problem solved.
We could also incorporate smart glass into windshields so that they have an effect that brightens things outside of them.
The only thing
And
is,
then we could make, we could go
yeah,
back to normal lights that aren't as bright.
yeah. It's fucking ridiculous.
It
And
would be more expensive, but I honestly think it'd be a cool idea to look into for the future.
the height of the driver does not significantly influence the likelihood of experiencing glare. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Pickup truck drivers are less likely to report glare than drivers of other vehicle types. Gee, I wonder why.
Really? Oh my god.
Yeah, it's. I can't even be super angry about this because it just annoys me.
You know what annoys me is that these have fucking light filter ability. So when it's
Mm-hmm.
hot outside and whatever, and I'm standing in direct sunlight, guess what happens? They darken. Guess what doesn't happen when I'm looking straight into the sun because somebody is passing me with their fucking high beams? Oh, wait. The auto darkening doesn't work because it takes heat and UV.
Yeah.
Motherfucker!
So what you're saying is that instead of LEDs, we need to have freaking black lights on the front.
No, I'm not even saying black. Honestly, I think black lights are fucking terrible. I've
Yeah,
I've I've used black lights before. It is a very uncomfortable spectrum of light.
that's true.
But no, the yellow lights that are on older trucks and cars work just fine. You just need to be willing to replace them.
I mean, hell, xenon bulbs aren't this bad. Because I used to drive
True.
a car with xenons. I got totaled.
We're not gonna mention that anymore.
I
Just making
know.
you sad.
I know.
Don't cry. Anyway,
This
but yeah, that's what I see on the way home all the time.
we can't really tell manufacturers to stop making slab fronted piece of shit. We can tell people to stop putting LEDs in their shit, but it's not gonna stop manufacturers from putting them in. What we can do is tell people, turn off your fucking high beams. You do not need them all on all the time. Frankly,
Well,
you barely need them all anyways.
if you're gonna have a slab piece of shit and you're gonna do that, it needs to have this little slant to point the light down, and then the light also needs to be crooked like that,
Yeah.
like in the bulbs.
I mean,
Dude, I'm
the
having a call
European
every 5 minutes. What the fuck?
the European solution, which I mean works and works pretty well, is they now mandate headlights that can like cut off certain segments. They detect when there's a car coming, and they like cut off the high beams and certain angles so that it's not shining directly at that car. That's a decent solution. It's just an overly complicated one. I think the easier thing is you make people angle this shit down. and you make them use lights that are amber colored so that they don't have so much of an effect on your night vision.
Well, and
there you
BMW
go.
had an overcomplicated solution that they introduced, I think, first, and honestly, I could see SUVs and stuff doing, since they're going to be fucking high price tag anyway. They might as well just fucking go all the way. BMW, like the M3, M4, M5 cars, for a little while had lights that when you turned the wheel, they turned to cover corners.
Yeah.
Like, if you can do that, then you can fucking make sure to angle down whenever it senses a car coming or something like that.
I mean, even just the shit that automatically turns off your high beams when it detects an oncoming car. That works fine.
It's a simple fix.
That's a simple and easy fix. I think mandating that is not necessarily a bad idea, because it's not like it's a super expensive I mean, I'm sure, fucking Tesla will be like,
you know what I don't mind?
I'm sure Tesla or some other manufacturer will be like, we need a $500 precision camera made by Zeiss in order to make this work. It's like, no, you need a basic fucking photocell. Done. But regardless, I mean,
I'm of the mind that I don't care if the high beams, like if they had a system that turns off high beams when you were coming up on somebody, the normal light should be yellow light. If you want the high beams to be ultra brights, that they're high beams, they're meant to be able to see further out. If you want to make them as bright as possible so that people can see, as long as there's a system to mitigate other people having to suffer through that because you're too stupid to turn your fucking high beams off, and yes, I'm saying that because there are fucking people that are too stupid to turn their high beams off.
yeah.
Make the normal lights yellow and the bright lights white. It's perfectly fine. Don't have both of them, and then the fucking look at that car on the screen. The fucking fog lights are bright as shit too.
Yeah.
That's where the headlights should be. Whereas those fog lights are, that's where the headlights should be. In my opinion. It would keep it lower to the ground.
Also, while we're at it, can we bring back pop-up headlights? Pedestrian
Please.
safety standards. There's a way to make them so that it's not super awful to pedestrians.
Look, I'm just going to get a Miata anyway so that I can wave at people with the fucking headlights. All right, assholes? You're not going to stop. You didn't stop us from going back and buying older cars. You might as well just bring the shit back. You're just being assholes. Come on.
Or you can get that body kit for the 8.6.
There's a body kit for the 8.6.
It's got pop-ups.
It does have pop-ups. That looks almost exactly like the old one. That's kind of crazy.
That's it's called the Neo 86. It's supposed to make it look like the old 8.6. And
only the front end. That back end still looks.
The back end, it's a little scuffed with the back end, and the front end does look a little bit short bus. But I mean,
I'm looking at the Rocket Bunny kit when I can finally spend money on my car.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either.
I think that does it for today. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.